In a small village at the foot of a green mountain, there lived a horse named Aaran. Aaran was not the biggest horse in the stable. He was not the fastest either. But everyone who knew him agreed on one thing. He had the kindest heart they had ever seen in any animal. He would share his feed with younger horses. He would let tired travelers rest against his back. If someone stumbled near him, he would step aside gently, careful not to hurt them. The stable master, an old man named Ravi, loved Aaran deeply. He would say, "That horse carries more grace than most humans I know." And for a long time, life in the stable was peaceful. But then things changed. A new horse arrived. His name was Cord. Cord was tall, loud, and full of pride. From the very first day, he pushed other horses away from the water trough. He stomped and snorted when anyone came too close to his corner. The other horses kept their distance. They were afraid. But Aaran tried to be kind. When Cord finished eating and left scraps on the ground, Aaran would quietly step aside to make room. When Cord shoved him away from the gate, Aaran would simply wait. He told himself, "He is new here. He is scared. Give him time." Days passed, then weeks, but Cord did not change. In fact, he got worse. He began kicking Aaran's side when passing by, not out of accident, but out of habit, out of disrespect. The other horses watched, they whispered, and slowly they stopped respecting Aaran too. Because when you allow someone to treat you poorly in front of others, the world starts to believe that is what you deserve. One morning, a young foal, barely a few months old, came to drink water. Cord shoved the little one so hard it stumbled and fell. Aaran saw it. He felt something rise inside him. Not anger, not hatred, something quieter, something stronger. Enough. Aaran walked forward, slowly, calmly. He stood between Cord and the foal. He did not flinch. He did not lower his head. Cord snorted loudly and stepped forward, trying to intimidate like he always did. But this time, Aaran did not move. He held his ground, eyes steady, shoulders firm, not one step back. The stable went silent. Cord tried again. A loud stomp, a sharp snort, a threatening lean forward. Aaran still did not move. He simply looked at Cord, calm, clear, and completely unafraid. Something shifted in that moment, because confidence is quieter than aggression, and true strength does not need to shout. Cord stared for a long moment, then slowly he stepped back. He walked to the far side of the stable and stood alone. The old stable master, Ravi, had been watching from the doorway the whole time. He walked over and placed his hand gently on Aaran's neck. He whispered, "That is what I have been waiting to see." From that day, everything changed. Not because Aaran became aggressive, not because he stopped being kind, but because he added something to his kindness that had always been missing, a boundary. The other horses looked to him differently now. The foal followed him around like a little shadow. Even Cord, slowly over time, became quieter, calmer. Because bullies do not respect the ones who yield, they respect the ones who stand firm. And Ravi told this story to every traveler who stopped at his stable. He would say, "My horse taught me something most humans forget. Kindness is a gift, but it must never be given out of fear. The moment you give kindness to avoid conflict, it is no longer kindness. It is just surrender." Closing message to the viewer. So let me ask you something before you go. Is there someone in your life right now? Someone who keeps pushing, keeps taking, keeps disrespecting, and you keep giving, keep adjusting, keep staying silent. You call it kindness, but deep down you know it is fear. Real kindness comes from a place of strength, not weakness. You can be warm and still have limits. You can be loving and still say, "This is not okay." Offense does not mean you hate the world outside. It just means you respect the space within. Be like Aaran. Kind, always, but never a doormat. Never.